Cathy Greenwald, and I am the financial secretary over at Sunrise. It has been a privilege to work in that capacity for the past 18 months. I'm a numbers person, and because I like numbers, I'd like to give you some. We have, according to Pastor John Michael, about 250 adult members of Sunrise. If you'll remember, this past July, I did donor statements for the 6-month period, and I generated 113 donor statements. I looked at those donor statements and noticed that we had 26 people or 26 donor units that donated just once. It could have been sponsoring a pork shoulder for the men's group. It could have been an UMCOR donation. It could have been just they were here visiting and they put a check in our collections. I then looked at the rest of the donors, and we had some sporadic donors, roughly 21, that may have given 2 or 3 times in that 6-month period, but they weren't what I would consider sustaining donors to our church. When I worked my numbers, I actually come up with about 66 sustaining donor units to our church. Now remember, we have roughly 250 members. Not all members are donors, and not all donors are members. When I look at the 66 sustaining donors, I came up with roughly 15 units or 15 families that are responsible for roughly anywhere from 43 to 50% of the donations we receive here at Sunrise. And because I work with numbers so much, 2 words came to mind when I looked at those figures, and those words were, what if? What if those that aren't currently donating to Sunrise were to donate just 1% of their household income? And conservatively, I'll go with a household income of $50,000. 1% would amount to $500. 1% would be $10 a week for 50 weeks. That could possibly bring in anywhere from $25,000 to $50,000 above and beyond what we're currently getting. And these would be people that currently are not donating or are doing sporadic donations. If you're a current sustaining donor or even a sporadic donor to Sunrise, would you also consider paying it forward by increasing your donation by just 1%? Again, if we're talking about $10 a week for 50 weeks, that's a tremendous amount of money that we could utilize to take care of Sunrise, its members, and our community. For the calendar year 2023, we would like to increase our missions budget. We would like to go out into the community and welcome people in. I joined Sunrise about 3 years ago. Technically, that's the term for it. I joined Sunrise. But in my heart, I came home to Sunrise. Sunrise was that welcoming mama that had their arms out, that said, come here, it's okay, come on. That's how I view my spiritual home. That's what Sunrise is to me. And I want to take care of my spiritual home as much as I take care of my physical home. I want to make sure it's maintained. I want to make sure it's welcoming. I want to make sure someone could come to rest, to enjoy a meal, to enjoy camaraderie, to feel safe and welcome. That's what Sunrise means to me. If you have that welcoming, if you have that acceptance, could you pay it forward by increasing your donations maybe 1%? $10 a week for 50 weeks. Think of what we could do going out into our community. Think of how we could be that person with open arms saying, come here, you're welcome here, you're welcome here. If you're ready to commit to Sunrise, we're asking that you fill out a pledge card. Pledge cards are going to be available in the lobby, paper, or you'll be able to get them digitally and do them. A pledge card is just what it says. You know, I'm going to pledge this amount. I'm going to try to fulfill that pledge. you are not 100% committed to it. You know, we're not going to come after you type of thing. But it helps us do our budget. It helps us know what we can get out there and do. It helps us know how we can have outreach to our members and our community. Thanks for listening to me. That's my pitch. I appreciate it. Have a great day.